Hey, hello everyone. I think we should now get started. Let me quickly check whether the YouTube Live is working well or not. Okay, so let's proceed further. Hello everyone, and welcome to this session on Python programming. We have named this program as Tame Your Python. And yep, absolutely. We will give you an opportunity to tame the Python. But the only difference is this is not the Python animal snake that we are talking about. We will be talking about the programming language called Python. Right? Even before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself because you need to know who is the person who is actually training you. And this is my LinkedIn profile. I'll also share this LinkedIn profile with you all so that you might connect with me. And our team will be monitoring YouTube Live and they'll be posting, they will be replying to your questions over there. And all these links will also be posted there. So I'm Bharani Kumar. I happen to be Industrial Revolution 4.0 implementer, Chief Data Scientist and Technology Advisor for 4 different companies. And I'm an alumnus of ISB and IIT with 16 plus years of experience. I started off working with HSBC, then I worked with ITC Infotech, Infosys, and Deloitte. Deloitte is the last company with which I was employed as an employee. I now serve as a director of InnoDataTechs and director of 360DigiTMG, alongside serving on the advisory committee of a few other companies. So that's in short about my profile. I can as well share my profile with you guys. Our team is going to post this on YouTube Live. There we go. So please connect with me and do ask questions offline as well. Now, let's get started with Python. This training that we are scheduling would be for approximately 20 days. Okay, let me write it down here so that it benefits everyone. This training will be for 20 days and it will be from Monday to Friday, and timing will be 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. All these sessions will be recorded and provided to you via YouTube channel. So I strongly recommend you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will also post the YouTube link towards the end of the session. And this is going to help you a lot. And this session would be provided to you on YouTube, provided you subscribe. Right? If you subscribe, all the future sessions that we are going to conduct, you'll also be notified. And learn and earn. Learn and earn is amazing part of this session, wherein towards the end, we will post questions of topics which we covered, of topics we covered, or we cover rather, for the day. So today we are going to talk about a few concepts. There will be certain questions pertaining to those topics, and we are going to post the questions on our LinkedIn page. So towards the end, we will also share with you our LinkedIn page. Do follow us. And on this, the moment we pose the questions, you are expected to reply in the comment window. You'll have a comment window in which you'll have to give the answers. It's multiple choice questions, A, B, C, D in that way. And we are going to tomorrow, for the first 5 minutes, quickly open this page. Look at those people who have commented correctly. And the first 3 people, I mean, fastest finger first, the people who respond quickly, the fastest, would be rewarded with Amazon coupons. Every day for 3 people, we'll be giving you all Amazon coupons. So enjoy your learning, as well as do participate in this fun-filled exercise and stand a chance to win some Amazon coupons. So what are we waiting for? Let us get started. Let me first tell you on what is Python. For that, I would initially ask you to just type this on your Google. Download Python. This is all you need to type. It will be practical oriented learning, friends. It won't be first theory and then this. No, it will be practical hands-on oriented learning. When you type download Python in Google, the first link that you encounter on Google search would be download Python. Just click on that. And based on the version or based on the operating system that you're using, you'd be given an option to download the Python. Since I'm using Windows machine, it says download the latest version for Windows, and you can just click on this link to download Python 3.10.0. Okay, after dot, you don't call it as 10, right? 3.10 or 10. This is the latest version, and you are expected to download this. We also have, let me download for that case. It's downloading, and the downloading is finished. And then I'm also going to open that and install it. Click on yes. And it's initializing. Don't do any changes. Okay, we are not expected to perform any changes here. Let it download, and it will install. All the default options is what we need to select. Okay, it's downloading. And also let me tell you that Python is operating system agnostic. What do I mean by that? Python can be installed on Linux or Unix operating system environments. It can be installed on Mac operating system, so on and so forth. Okay, next. If you want to download the older versions of Python, you can absolutely download. And when you scroll down, you'll see all the older versions. What I say is, from a practical standpoint, always use 2 versions below. For example, if the latest version is 3.10, then I recommend people to use 3.8. Okay, the reason being 3.8 will be more stable. 3.10 is the latest one. So if there are any errors, if there are any bugs while you're using this, it will start creating problems for you. You might go to Google and search how to fix those errors, but you'll not find any, or you'll find minimal literature. But if you go with 3.8, since it was launched in 2019, a lot of issues are already fixed, and you'll find a lot of literature on Google, on internet. So it'd be easier for you to debug and fix the issues. And one more thing is, Python is free to download It is free for use. It is open source. Open source meaning it is free. You can download and use it for various purposes. All right. Now let me open Python. I'll just search Python and here we go. I have 3.10. Let me open that. And this is how the screen appears. This is exactly how the screen appears. And if you see, we have Python 3.10. However, if you type here 1 plus 1 and click on enter, you get 2. And if you type 8 multiplied by 3, you get 24. You can simply start using Python as a calculator. But then this is not looking good in terms of the look and feel, in terms of the graphical user interface. People call graphical user interface as GUI. That's how they pronounce in short. And the look and feel is not great. Since the look and feel is not great, we will resort to something else, which is called as Anaconda. Python, Anaconda, all names of animals are listed down here. Not sure why people are so fond of animals. But anyways, so Anaconda has a better graphical user interface. So let me write it down. You can either use directly Python by installing that, and the way I've opened this, in that way you can open and start using it, or you can download another software called as Anaconda. Here Python is open source and it is free. Open source meaning free. It is free for both individuals like you and me, and it is also free for you to use it for commercial purpose. If you want to use it in your offices, in your companies, in your organizations, absolutely you can use it for free. But the flip side is two things. I would call it as cons, disadvantages. Number one, the graphical user interface is not good. It's not interactive, I would say. It's not interactive. I'll show you what interactive means. Number two, when you download and start using something on this, there will be something called as libraries. When you download and start using it, there might be version mismatches. Version mismatch. And the moment you have version mismatch, it will start throwing errors. And you will experience errors. Experience bugs or errors. To fix these bugs, you'll spend a lot of time, but that is not what you are expected to perform, right? You're not expected to keep fixing these kind of version mismatch and installation issues. You are there to perform better activities using Python, right? Now, obvious question that you might have is, hey, what is this library that you're talking about? Let me spend some time on that. Then I'll explain about what is Anaconda. And then I'll also explain you about the cloud version of, the GUI that we are going to use. Just allow me 2 to 3 minutes. Friends, what do you mean by a traditional library? Traditional library is a place where you find books, and these books are written by various authors. Okay, so all I'm saying is Python is open source and it is free for both individuals, and it can be used for free for companies, and companies can use it for free. That is what I mean. So here you have books, and books are written by various authors, and whatever concepts are given to you by authors, you try to reuse those, right? You reuse the concepts which are explained by the authors. In exactly similar manner, you have Python libraries. And Python libraries or library is collection of code, collection of programs. And these lines of code and programs are written by programmers. Okay, they are written by programmers, and you can reuse the code. All right, you can reuse the code and you can reuse the concepts. And the beauty of this is as follows. Let me explain that in just a minute. If you give me a minute, I'm going to show you something very exciting, and that will probably demystify a lot of things, because a lot of people think that they do a lot of fancy stuff by working as data scientists, but I want to tell you that nothing of that kind people do. It's very trivial stuff which people perform. So to show you that, yeah, I got a slide, an interesting slide for y'all. Let me explain this. So friends, a lot of people nowadays are using Python for machine learning purpose, right? They're using Python for deep learning, machine learning, data science, and various other activities. And what society thinks people do, right? Society thinks that these machine learning experts actually are building robots. And what do your friends think about you? Your friends think that, hey, my friend is working as a machine learning expert, so he's actually building a robot like this. What your parents think about you? Do your parents think that, hey, my son or my daughter works on big machines like this? And what do other programmers think about you? If you're a machine learning expert, they feel that, you know what, this guy is a machine learning expert. They write very complicated math, which appears like this. And what do you think about yourself? You think about yourself as if you're doing some fancy stuff, visualization and all that. But in reality, do you know what you're doing? You are just making use of Python, and you're simply writing a line of code like this. And this is a Python library. And you are simply calling a machine learning algorithm, and you're reusing the code which someone else has written in the past. Okay, so that's the ground reality. To that extent, Python has automated, and see what society is thinking about you, and look at what you're exactly doing here. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Please do not assume that we are doing something magical. Nothing magical. It's all mundane stuff. Okay, so back to our discussion here. So Python is free for both individuals and for companies to use, but the disadvantages are that graphical user interface is not interactive, I'll show you how interactive it is in Anaconda. And when you install these Python libraries, if you want to reuse the code of any of the library, you need to install that. When you install different libraries of different versions, there might be mismatch. And because of this mismatch, you would run into a lot of errors, bugs, and you will end up spending a lot of time on activities which are not value added. Okay, and hence we have Anaconda here, which we are going to download and use it. But let me quickly tell you on what Anaconda is. Anaconda is a company. It is an organization. Okay, and the people working at Anaconda, they have built an application. And this application can be downloaded. And it is free once again for individuals. So people like you and me, if we want to use it and use it for our own practice, absolutely it is free. But the moment you want to use it for commercial purpose, you need to pay license. So it's going to cost you. It is paid. You need to take the license and then you can start using Anaconda. And the two disadvantages which Python has are eradicated, removed by Anaconda. So the graphical user interface is very interactive, is extremely interactive and very user-friendly. And you have a lot of menu-driven options. You just need to use certain options by clicking on those options. I'll show you that as well. And they take the widely used libraries or most frequently used libraries, and the moment you install Anaconda, they also install those frequently used libraries with the right versions. So when you start using those libraries here, it will not throw error. Okay, all those errors are actually fixed by people working in Anaconda itself. So these are the two reasons why people prefer Anaconda. So what are we waiting for? Let's go and download Anaconda and start using that. So I'll just close this Python, or let me minimize it rather. And let me go here. Go to Google and then type download Anaconda. That's it. And when you issue this search keyword on Google, the first link that appears is something that you need to click on. And here, this Anaconda individual edition is for free. And Anaconda is also operating system agnostic. It can be installed on Mac, it can be installed on Linux, it can be installed on Windows as well. All you need to do is click on download here and it will start downloading. Yeah, this I would not like to fill it at this point of time. And it's downloading the .exe file. If you download for Mac, I believe it will download .dmg. Those are the installation files. Okay, so I would download this and open that. I would not install it rather, or let me install it because I want to show you how it works. Let it download. Yeah, my downloading, downloading of the file is complete. I just clicked on this to launch it. Please do not make any changes, my dear friends. You just need to say next. I agree. next, next. It says this is not empty because already there is a different version in there. So let me just say new version and let me click next. That's it. Don't worry about the spaces and all that. Just click next, next and install. Don't select any options or don't make any changes until and unless you are a very experienced person and you know why you're doing that for. Don't meddle with the default options, please. So it's setting the environment, it's downloading. Once it opens, I'm going to, or once it completes the installation, I'm going to launch it and I'm going to show you how the graphical user interface looks like in comparison to Python. So it's setting up the base environment. It would take probably 2 to 3 more minutes and it would be done. Okay. Rather than wait for this installation to complete, I would like to open the already existing version of Anaconda Navigator. So what I've done here is just I've searched for the previous installation, which I've already installed, and I clicked on that. That's it. And it's launching. Let it launch. This is a different version which I'm installing. Why waste time? Right? That's the point. So anyways, the installation is going on. Let it go on. So I'll just minimize it. And this is how your Anaconda Navigator appears like. And each of these that you're seeing here are some applications that you can launch and start using. The most famous applications are these: Jupyter Notebook and Spider. Okay, a few of the known people, my known friends, associates, also use PyCharm. Okay. So, do one thing. When you open this for the first time, friends, you would not see launch option here. You would instead see install option. So this is still going on. Yeah, this is completed installation. I'll say next, next, finish. Okay. And now what I should do is I'll close this, quit, and I would rather open the, I'll go to C drive, program files, and was it in program files only? Yes, I believe. Or was it here? Or let me do a simple search here. Okay, and I want to know where Anaconda was installed. It takes just a minute for this to come up. While it does that, I'll go to start and I want to see where is the latest version which is installed. Yeah, if you see Anaconda Navigator new, that's the new version. So let me open that because I want to show you exactly how Anaconda appears. It would come up in a bit. For the first time, it might take some time, but is this the one? I believe this is the one. So I think it is taking the same version. That's okay. So what I'm saying is, when you open this for the first time, instead of launch, you would see an option called install, like this, install. So you just need to click on that and it will install this particular IDE, which is called as Integrated Development Environment. Okay, it will download that. Spider and this are two most widely used IDEs. Okay, so I'll just open Spider first to show you how it appears. And then I'll open Jupyter and show you how it appears. And then I'm going to move on to some cloud-based application where no installation is needed. We'll certainly move to that. And is Spider launched? Sorry. It's launching Spider. Let me vis-a-vis also launch Jupyter. We'll launch both of these. And if this is an issue with respect to two Anaconda installations parallelly on a system, then I'll have to just quickly close this and then check if there is any other version of Anaconda lying out here. I believe none. So I'll go here and I'll go to Anaconda and then I'll open the older version. Not older version, the previously installed, Anaconda Navigator. It's loading the moment it launches. Yep. Now let me click on Jupyter first and see whether it launches or not. Yeah, there we go. So this is called as Jupyter. This is how it appears, the look and feel. And then if you simply do a drop down here on new, you will see Python 3. Forget about the other things. You might not see those. You just click on this Python 3 and it opens Python on browser. So here you can do the same thing. If you type 1 + 1, and if you click on this run, it will show 2. If you multiply 8 with 3, and if you click on run, it says that the output is 24. That's how simple it is. Okay. And let me also open, look at the look and feel, friends, and compare it with Python here. Look at the look and feel here. It is so neatly structured to run. And then you can save this file as a PDF file. You can save this file as a HTML file, etc., for later use. Here you cannot do that. Okay, that's how it is. And then you can load the files directly here. You can load the files also. Okay, now, if I were to open Spider, which is another IDE, Integrated Development Environment, this is how it appears. It's launching Spider. Oops. Not sure why it is distorted like this. Let me fix this here. There we go. So this is how it appears, friends. You'll not see this. This is how it appears. All this text here just says that you just created that on this date at this time, and this is the name of the author, etc. And it's running on Python 3.8.5. Such details would be there. I'll just remove this and type 1 + 1. If you just click on this symbol here, this is called as run each line. You would see the output here. Output is 2. If you type 8 multiplied by 3. And if you click on run, it says the output is 24. Okay, so this is how the integrated development environments look like. But now we would be practicing Python neither using the Python terminal, which is this window. We will not use this, nor will we use Anaconda. And in that, we will not be using Spider, Jupyter, etc. Instead, we will move towards cloud. And what we'll be using is Google Collab. Okay, we will be using Google Collab. This is a way to go. You need not have any software installed. You need not have a powerful computer. Even if you have a very primitive computer with you, it still works. So all you need to do is go to the browser and type Google Collab. Google Collab is a free, version which is available. I mean, paid version is also there, but we will be using the free version. The moment it opens, you just click on New Notebook. And it opens an interface which is very similar to Jupyter. So look at this, you can give a name. Let me call it as Tame Your Python. Okay, and then you can start typing whatever you want. Day 1 Python. You type whatever you want, and then you can get started. Okay, so the look and feel is very similar to Jupyter here also. And then if you type 1 plus 1, and if you click on the run symbol here, adjacent to that, there we go. The answer is going to come up. For the first time, it is going to connect to a computer on cloud. Hence, it takes time. And if you want to write the next line of code, do you see the plus sign here? Code, you just click on that. It would open the next line of code and type it. 8 multiplied by 3. When you click on run, it says answer is 24. This is exactly how you can use. You can also add text. To minimize this, when you hover my mouse, it says text. So here you can add some text. You can say multiplying numbers. If you want, put it in bold. This complete stuff, you can put it in bold. Okay. Or just put star here, and there. This should do the trick. Okay. So when you put star and star, it appears in bold. This is your own text, your own literature that you can write by clicking on that. So you are not charged anything. The only thing that you need to use Python on cloud here on Google Colab is a Gmail account. Nothing apart from that. Now let us get into today's session. Here are a few shortcuts that you might want to bear in mind when it comes to Jupyter Notebook. The notebook that you're seeing on Google Colab is very, very similar to Jupyter Notebook. In fact, it is Jupyter Notebook only. There is a shortcut to run each cell, which is Control plus Enter. So let me click on code here. And if I type 1 plus 1, and on the keyboard, if I type control and enter. And if I click on run anyway, it says answer is 2. Okay, if you want to comment this line, comment means if you want to write a note, you can write it here itself. You can say adding 2 numbers. Right? This is what we are doing. We are adding 2 numbers. If you select that and if you type control plus this line, now if I run this, it will throw error. It will say, what do you mean by adding 2 numbers? I don't know. That's an invalid syntax. Okay, it doesn't know what this means. What should be the result? So what you can do is select that and comment it. It's a note that you're making here. In order to comment, you need to use control plus this backslash or forward slash rather. And then this will be commented. Hash will be introduced. And if you run it, it just executes this. Python understands that this is just a note that you have made for your ease of understanding that you're adding 2 numbers. And to uncomment this, once again, press control and the same forward slash, and it uncomments. For commenting and uncommenting multiple lines also, you just select the multiple lines, adding 2 numbers. This is my first line of code in Python. If you want to comment these 2 lines, select those 2 lines and then use control and forward slash. If you want to uncomment, again, same control and the forward slash. You can copy using control C. And if you want to paste it, you can do a control V. If you want to undo the last action, you need to type control and the 2 keys, M and Z. So press control M, control M, Z at one go. My bad. Control MZ. That entire thing is gone. Right? That's how it works. Right. Now the other shortcuts, you can absolutely use it and practice these things. If you're using MacBook, instead of control, there will be command. There'll be a key on your keyboard, which is called as command, and you can absolutely use it. A few things about variable declaration, but before that, I think I need to go here and say clear all the output. Why did I do that? Because, before this session, I've run all the lines of code to check whether they are working well or not. And now I feel that I can actually remove that and run it before you guys and show you how it works. Okay. Now, variable declarations, variable assignment rules is what we are going to discuss. When you have something called as a variable, for example, if I type car equal to 10, this car is called as a variable, which will now hold this 10. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. When I run this 10 gets saved in this, and when you say print car, it shows 10 as an output. This part I think, delete, not needed. Okay, so this is called as a variable. When you use variable names, they should start with a letter, not with a number. If you say 5 car. It threw an error because the variable name should not start with numbers. It should start with letters. Now, if I run, it runs, it doesn't throw any error. Second thing is, it should contain only alphanumerics. It cannot contain any special symbol strings. It only can contain alphanumerics. For example, you can say car 5. Then this is fine. Okay, this is absolutely fine. And if you say what is there in car 5, print whatever is there in car 5, it says car 5 has 10 because you're assigning 10 to this. This is fine, but you should not start the variable name with a number. That's the key. And alphanumerics are possible, but again, special characters are not allowed. For example, if you use car $sign, car and $sign, this is not allowed. If you run it, it throws an error because these special symbols that are listed on here, you are not supposed to use those in variable names. And you should not even have a space. Okay, for example, if you say car space 20 and run it, it throws an error. It says, hey, this space I do not understand. For example, car space 2s, whatever you give, it throws an error. If you don't give a space here, and then if you run, it doesn't throw any error. But if you have space, it will throw an error. Please bear that in mind. Then instead of space, what do I do? If I have two words, for example, if you want to say number of cars, certainly if you run this, it will throw error. But if you don't want error, but if you want to retain this, these spaces, then replace those spaces with underscore. When you replace those spaces with underscore, and when you run it, now it doesn't throw any error. If you now say print whatever is there in this object or whatever is there in this variable, then it will throw you the right result. Okay. And the best practice is to always use lowercase names as variables. And one more thing is, the variable name should not contain predefined keywords which have special meaning in Python. For example, if you say if equal to 10, if you run it, it throws an error. Why? If I type else and run this, it will throw an error. Why? Because these are all inbuilt keywords, predefined keywords or variables within Python, and they have a special meaning and special purpose. If you want to know what are the various Python keywords which are predefined, then you need to run a specific line of code, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, so first of all, just understand this, that variable name should not start with a number. It should not contain any special character. It should not have space in between. Okay, these are a few things that you need to remember. Second, whatever number or whatever you're assigning it to this variable, when you say print, and then if you give that variable name, it will show you what is contained in that. Space is not allowed, it will throw an error. Special characters not allowed, it will throw an error. You can also You need not always assign a number to a variable. You can also assign a string, alphabets. So here I'm putting cars. Whenever you have non-numeric alphabets or alphabets, which are obviously non-numeric in single quotes, when you assign to an object, and when you say print what is there in this, it will show you the answer. So the point that I'm trying to drive here is you need not run these two lines of code separately. You can combine these two into a single cell and then run. That is also absolutely fine. Now to answer this last line, which is, or last but one, what are the predefined keywords within Python? Why do you need to know this? Because if you give those names as your variable names, you would get error. Okay, you would certainly get error. So that is the reason why we should not provide. Let me scroll down. And then let me run this. Import keyword. This is a library which contains list of various things. And once you import this, if you go to that keyword and if you say, show me the keyword list, show me the list of things which are keywords. And when you run it, it gives you all these names which should not be used. You should not use false, none, true, and as. I've used if you remember. I've tried using else and it threw some error. So you cannot use these keyword lists. If you use these, you would get error, friends. All right. Next, let's move on to operators and look at a few arithmetic operators within Python. The first example is as follows. If you assign number 10 to A, and if you assign number 20 to B, okay, and if I say A comma B, then what might be the result? I'll run this and the result will be 10 and 20 because A contains 10 and B contains 20. So you have 10 comma 20. If I add these two, A plus B, since A already contains 10 and B already contains 20, when you say A plus B, and when I run this, you get 30. Okay. And when you do A minus B, what will be the result? A is already assigned number 10. So it will be 10 minus B has 20. And if you subtract these two, you get minus 10. Okay, you get minus 10. And that is exactly what will pop out on your output. Let me click on this. There we go. You get minus 10 here. When you multiply A with B, A is already assigned 10 and B is assigned 20. So 10 multiplied by 20 would give you 200. And you also have division. A has 10, B has 20. And if you say 10 divided by 20, the answer will be 0.5. Okay, 10 divided by 20 would give you 0.5. And there is also another thing which is called as floor division. What do you mean by floor division? If I say A, and if I use these double forward slash in B, and A you know is 10, double, and then 20. This is similar to division, but it is called as floor division. And when you divide 10 by 20, if you're going to get 0.5, the floor of this would be 0. So it would throw you an output which is going to be 0. Let me run it. And you get 0 here. Okay. And when you say B, and this symbol that you see here, the percentage symbol, would actually give you reminder. So 20 divided by 10, if you do that, let me go here. If you say 20 percentage and 10, it will give you reminder. So 20 by 10 to 20, and then there won't be any reminder, or there won't be any remainder, right? So if I were to run this, it will show 0 because there won't be any remainder. And then here, exponential. If you say A double star and B, it actually does this. A star star B would actually give you A raised to the power B. And if A is equal to 10 and if B is equal to 20, then this will be 10 raised to the power 20. That means 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10. You write it 20 times. And whatever is the final result, 1, 0, 0, 0, all these zeros 20 times would be the output here. Okay. So I will stop at this point, friends. And tomorrow we will get started with comparison operator. Once again, I repeat, to get access to this video and all future videos, number 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Number 2, please follow our LinkedIn page, which we are going to post on the YouTube chat window now. The reason being, on LinkedIn page, we will post the URL or the link of recorded video of YouTube. Wherever this video will be loaded on our YouTube channel, that link will be posted on our LinkedIn, so you can view that. Number 2, on LinkedIn, we will post practice questions for today based on whatever has been discussed. Okay, and the moment we post it, we will look at the answers in comments. You'll have comment section under the post. You give your answers, multiple choice answers in that comments, A, D, whatever. Give those answers for the questions. We are going to pick the correct answers, and whoever has responded the fastest. So it's called as fastest finger first. And then we are going to reward these people with Amazon coupons. All right. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we are going to connect at the same time, 9 p.m. IST, and the session will go on until 6 p.m. IST. And slowly and steadily, we will start with the basics and move on to slightly advanced concepts of Python to give you amazing experience. This training will be for 20 hours and reap the maximum benefits. Please notify your friends, relatives, and ask everyone to get benefited from this. Thank you all once again. and you have been a very pleasant audience. Thank you. We'll be posting all the details on our YouTube live, the chat window, so that you might quickly subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our LinkedIn page. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Bye for now.